Hey guys, Becky here with Design Bundles, and I'm super excited to have you join me today because we have a much requested tutorial. This time, guys, we are showing you how to switch out the patterns in your favorite SVG files. Alright guys, so here we are in Silhouette Studio, and I'm really excited to be able to show you this video today because it is really useful, and also, you know, when I'm active on social media, this is a question that I see a lot. How do I take an SVG file that I already have and switch out the pattern? Now, we are talking about a few different concepts today. We're talking about the ability to switch out to a printable pattern, the ability to switch out to just a base cut file. That way you can cut a patterned piece of vinyl or cardstock, and then also the ability to switch out to a pattern that you can cut with vinyl. So a printable, a solid piece, and then a actual patterned SVG portion for the pattern. So that'll make more sense. You'll see the three different ways that I'm talking about. So let's go ahead and just talk about this design area. Nothing special. I've just turned off everything except just a 12 by 12 media size here. And what I'm going to do is go ahead and bring in my SVG file. Now I'm opened a File Explorer window, and I'm just going to isolate my SVG file down here, and I'm going to drag and drop it over into the Silhouette Studio software. Now you can do the basics for this in most designing software. The terms may be a little bit different, but the processes are the same, okay? Let me give myself a little space here. Now these are grouped together individually. So what I mean is they are two separate cut files, but all the pieces for each file are already grouped together. So we're going to want to ungroup those. And then you also want to ungroup if needed. See how this is a layered SVG file? So this is the part that I want to get rid of. Okay. See how that one didn't come apart? So we will want to ungroup that first. There we go. And what we're doing is we're bringing this down to the base file. All right, I don't want to say like you should do this with every cut file, but when you're looking at making modifications, this is kind of like your starting place. You want to go ahead and break it down. That way you can access all the individual pieces to modify them or to get rid of them. Okay. So this is our base, but one thing I want to show you is if I really look at this bandana, this is a solid piece. Okay, it does not have the separations for layering. And then the same here with the messy bun part. It has not been subtracted out. So that's not necessarily a bad thing, but what it means is you will have a lot of layering going on. And while a lot of your smooth HTV can be layered on top of each other, if you're working with a file that has, flocked or pattern or anything like that, then working out how to layer those can be a little bit difficult. So what we want to do is I always will take these files and subtract out the designs that will be layering over each other. So I just used a keyboard shortcut. As a matter of fact, let's move the child image and just bring over the mom messy bun. So what I did, I'll do it again, is I've just selected the tan piece and I'm using Control left. And I'm going to do the same thing on the sunglasses. And what that's going to do is it's going to give us the ability to put that back where it belongs. See how it goes right back over? Okay. Now what I want to do is I'm going to select my two tan pieces. Let's go ahead and group them together. I'm going to hold down my Shift key and select the black messy bun file. Now you notice the tan is on top, so I'm going to open the Modify panel and choose Subtract. All right, and then I'm going to select all of this again and just choose Weld. Now, if I move my tan pieces back over, and I want to send to back, you'll notice that it layers over exactly where it needs to go, but my black is all one piece. All right, that wasn't the case before. So the next step, what I want to do with the black piece, make sure it's on top. Hold down your shift key and group together your tan pieces. Make a duplicate of your black image here. Select both of these and choose subtract. And what that does is it subtracts out the black from the tan. So see how this one is whole? This one is not. This one has been subtracted down. So we can delete those. And the point of doing that is now this is going to fit together like a puzzle. So there's no part that is layering over another part. So regardless of what color heat transfer vinyl, what type, whether it's glitter, whether it's smooth, whether it's pattern, it's all going to fit together. It doesn't matter, what layer you do first. All right, so I try to do that anytime before I start switching out these pieces. And we're going to do the same thing here with the child file. Let's zoom in a little bit. Okay, so this design is a little bit different because the tan has already been subtracted out from the black. But what I want to do is I want to take a look. Okay, so my hair and sunglasses do not include the outline on these bows. So I'm going to click on the bow outline, and evidently I have this little straggler piece over here. We're going to group all of that together. Okay, now we can go ahead and group our tan together. And watch, if I bring it to front, I still don't have the division that I need for it to truly layer and fit together as a puzzle. So I'm going to send that to back. And I'm going to use Control and the right arrow to create that duplicate over here. There it is. Now I can select all of this, open the Modify panel, and choose Subtract. And that's going to subtract out the black from the tan. So put that back in place and then delete out what we don't need. So this is what I'm going to call our base file. All right. And what this means is that this is what I need if I were going to cut this as a solid color. All right. So I can do solid red, bandana and bows and sunglasses. I can do glitter. I can cut a pattern HTV and fit it in here. I'm saying HTV because most of the time this is used for like t-shirts and stuff. But, I can even separate these out and fill them with my own pattern. All right, so let's do that real quick. Let me bring in a pattern. So these are just some fun 4th of July patterns here. What I'm going to do is just drag and drop the blue stars over. Now it may take a minute to load. Sometimes these come in a little large, so we'll see how that works out. And get rid of our File Explorer. Okay, now this is a pattern. I'm going to go ahead and create a duplicate because I know I'm going to use it twice. Okay, this is what I'm going to do if I'm going to print this or if I have printable vinyl that I'm going to use. Okay, so I can select these two. Now, when I say these two, I mean the tan base file and the pattern here. Open Modify again and choose Crop. And same thing over here. I'm going to send it to back, but I'm going to select my tan and crop. And that's going to fill those pieces with that pattern. Okay, now it's not going to cut this pattern, meaning it's not going to cut out the stars. Okay, but if I want, like I said, to use any type of printable, if I'm going to use printable heat transfer, printable vinyl, or if I'm going to print this on something like Sublimation, if I'm going to print this on water slide decal paper for a tumbler. All right, lots of reasons why I would want to do this as a printable. But you may be asking, well, what happens when I don't want to do this as a printable? I want to cut out the stars, or I want to fill it with a zebra pattern and cut that out. Let's get back down to one base pattern. And what I'm going to do, now you can bring in a patterned SVG already. So if I can find a zebra pattern SVG file, I can bring that in and skip this step. But if you're working with a clip art pattern like this, what we're going to do is we're going to trace it. And I don't have to trace all of it, but just trace the largest part of it, okay? We're going to turn our scale down and our threshold up if we need to. I don't think this file needs us to turn the threshold up. I think it's just fine. So we will just hit trace, not trace and detach, not trace outer edge, just regular trace. Okay, and if we separate them, you'll see that now we have these cut lines. All right, so let's go ahead and fill it in blue, and we can turn that line color to transparent, but we're still going to create a duplicate because I'm going to use it twice. All right, so let's send to back. But we're going to do the same thing. Hold down the shift key, select our tan, come over and crop. Group it together. Same thing, send it to back, hold down the shift key, grab the tan and wrong one, and crop. And group that together. Now, when I go to cut this, I can just separate out and cut this in the blue, and then cut the other part in the black. Now, I can still use this as a printable, okay? This isn't exclusive to cutting, but it just depends on which one you need to do. And, you know, I know that this came with the cheetah pattern, but this makes it really cute. I can do this for 4th of July. I can hang on to this and do it for Valentine's Day. I could do shamrocks for St. Patrick's Day. Just a lot of really fun things that you can do with it once you really break down and isolate what the base of your file is. So, all right, guys, well, that is how we switch out the pattern in an SVG file. And hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Let's wrap it up. So guys, how did you feel about switching out those patterns? Now, this is a designing tutorial that I have seen asked for over and over. It's very popular in all the Facebook groups, needing to know how to take care of this. Because guys, I mean, let's face it, there are a lot of really cute patterns out there and a lot of really great reasons why you would want to change them out. So, I'm going to wrap it up for today, but if you have any questions or comments about what we did today or any other designing requests that you want to see, make sure you leave that down below for me. I do love hearing from you guys. And of course, make sure you subscribe to the channel, give the video a quick thumbs up, turn on those notifications so that you get notified of our new videos. And guys, you know, sharing is caring. So thanks again, guys. Like I said, I'm going to wrap it up for today, but we will see you again next time.